The first time Mia saw the man seated at the far corner table, she thought he was ordinary, except for the quiet air of authority around him. She was wiping tables in a small cafe in Seattle, working 2 jobs to help her younger sister through college. It was evening, and the cafe's soft lights cast warm halos over steaming cups, and the half-open windows framed the drizzle outside. He ordered something in Japanese. Mia's heart skipped. She had studied Japanese in college, mostly to broaden her horizons, never expecting she might use it in a small cafe in America. Yet when she walked by, she heard him speak, "O shui wo oyenishimasu." Water, please, Cos, in perfect, polite Japanese. Her fingertips as she carried cups trembled slightly. She paused, then offered him a polite bow and said in Japanese, "Here is your water, sir." His head lifted. In his eyes she saw surprise. He had the bearing of a powerful man, sharp suit, trimmed hair, but something about him was polite, almost tentative. "That's not what it says," he murmured. Confusingly, Mia blinked, looked down at the cup, then at him. She realized he had asked for mineral water, mineraru ota, not just plain tap water. Embarrassed, she apologized in Japanese and hurried off to bring the right order. He watched her go, the crease between his brows softening. He did not order much else that evening, paid his bill without fanfare, and left. But something shifted for Mia. That moment, the whisper of Japanese language, the small correction, it felt like destiny. The secret behind the suit. A week later, Mia's cafe was bustling as usual. She filed plates, wiped counters, greeted regulars. The bell over the door chimed, and the same man entered, glancing around, then making his way to the corner table again. She felt her chest tighten. She forced a smile, swallowed nerves, and approached him. In Japanese, she said, "Welcome back. What will you have this time?" His eyes widened, then softened. He cleared his throat and replied in English, "Coffee, black, no sugar." But then, in a low, halting tone, he added, "Could you also tell me your name?" "Mia," she said. "And yours?" "Call me Yuji Takahashi," he said. Over the following days, he became a regular, quiet, polite, ordering small things, always in Japanese at first, then mixing English. They made small talk about Seattle's rainy season, the cherry blossoms, books he had read, and her dream of returning to school someday. To Mia, Yuji seemed like a man of gentleness, someone hiding under the armor of a serious exterior. But the community buzzed with news. A murmured scandal, whispers of a $500 million fraud, corporate assets evaporating, shareholders in outrage. She had worked shifts as a part-time barista and seen social media posts. The name Takahashi Holdings was being dragged through headlines. Many believed Yuji was the mastermind. One evening, after closing the cafe, Mia folded chairs, wiped tables, and found Yuji still there, quietly staring outside. Hesitantly, she approached. "Mr. Takahashi, I mean Yuji," she began. "I'm sorry if I'm prying. But is it true? The news says your company is collapsing, that there's been fraud." He sighed deeply, shoulders slumped. He looked at her, eyes tired, and after a long beat nodded. "Yes," he said, voice low. "They say I stole $500 million. People have lost so much. They want me to pay. I can't explain it all yet." Mia's heart pounded. She remembered the evening when she served his water wrongly and he corrected her. He had seemed fallible, human. She said softly, "You don't have to explain everything, but is there a way I can help, even just to listen?" He shook his head, then closed his eyes. They were silent for a moment. "You're kind," he said. "I've become trapped in a maze of lies and a life I built on ambition and fear. And now the trap is closing." A twist of fate. Over the next week, the cafe's small upstairs room became a refuge. Yuji would appear after hours, asking Mia for advice on basic things, how to file a complaint, how to regain trust. He confessed little, but his burden showed. Mia listened and sometimes fought back tears. One night, she brought a stack of legal advice pamphlets she had picked up from a community center, drink coupons from local businesses, and she said, "You don't have to go it alone." He gave her a faint, stunned smile. "I never expected someone like you to care, because that's what people do." She finished gently. He nodded. Their hands brushed briefly. In that small touch was a spark, the spark of human connection, something real amid chaos. But then came a startling turn. Police cars rolled to the cafe one evening, neon lights blocking off the street. Reporters gathered outside. Patrons were asked to leave. Mia watched from behind the windows as Yuji was handcuffed, her heart shattered. She ran outside shouting to the officers, "Wait, he's innocent until proven guilty. Let me see him." They held her back. The next day, the media swarmed. Billionaire CEO arrested in $500 million scam. Everyone assumed the worst. Mia sat at the closed cafe, tears in her eyes, wondering if she had misread kindness for guilt. Yet, even while in custody, Yuji asked to call her. When he got through, his voice cracked. "Mia, I'm sorry this happened to you," she stammered. No, I won't let them break your heart. I believe there's more to the story." He was transferred to a federal detention center. An air of hopelessness settled over him. Mia thought of walking away. After all, she was just a waitress with limited means. But she couldn't. Unraveling, the scammer reached out. To journalists, to local lawyers, to nonprofits, to community activists. She posted on social media, "I know him. He spoke Japanese with me. He has a heart." She asked anyone with evidence to look deeper. The world responded with skepticism, but a few listened. She became a small but persistent voice demanding fairness, demanding that the public not rush to judgment. One of the investigative journalists connected to her. His name was Derek. He said, "Your story is interesting. Let me look into Takahashi Holdings." Mia passed him everything she had, notebooks, her recorded conversations with Yuji's consent, transcripts, the fact that she witnessed him correcting a minor order, evidence of someone who valued accuracy, small kindness. As weeks passed, contradictory documents emerged. Banks altered records. The fraud was less clear than the headlines had claimed. Someone had manipulated ledgers, hidden accounts, siphoned money through shell companies. The real villain was an unseen board of directors, greedy and ruthless. Yuji, though CEO, had been deceived and coerced. He had tried to uncover the scheme internally, but the conspirators were powerful. Derek's exposé dropped. Takahashi the man versus Takahashi the mask, the 500-member enigma. The world learned that Yuji had been framed, or at least dangerously misled. Evidence showed millions were transferred without his knowledge. Shareholders gasped. Regulators stepped in. Prosecutors re-examined charges. Throughout this, Mia visited Yuji in detention. She brought letters, diaries, and once she recited for him a poem in Japanese, a poem of hope and regeneration. He listened silently, tears in his eyes. The climb back months passed. The legal system swung. The conspirators were charged. Evidence cleared Yuji partially, then fully. A judge dropped most charges. The public narrative shifted, but the scars remained. On reputations, on relationships, on Yuji's spirit. He emerged from custody, fragile and wary, stepping into a storm of questions and judgment. Mia was waiting. She smiled shyly in the crowd. They embraced. He told her, "You saved me. Your kindness held me when I had nothing left. I never believed someone would believe in me so fiercely." She said simply, "You deserve belief. Your humanity matters more than any scandal." Yuji rebuilt his life, not returning to the same giant corporation, but founding a foundation for transparency and accountability. He offered restitution to those hurt, helped businesses betrayed by fraud, and worked to rectify wrongs. Mia became a partner in philanthropic efforts, teaching financial literacy in underserved communities. Their bond grew deeper, not as a billionaire and a waitress, but as allies in compassion and justice. Everywhere they went, people whispered the story. The waitress who spoke Japanese saved the CEO from ruin. It became a legend, a lesson. Kind hearts ripple outward. The emotional climax one evening, Yuji invited Mia to a dedication ceremony. A new community center in Seattle's downtown, a free clinic, education room. Legal help desk was being named Mia's place in honor of her courage, empathy, and the belief she had in him. Mia stood on stage, tearful, surrounded by people whose lives would change through free services. Yuji stood beside her, his hand in hers. He said, addressing the crowd, "This center exists because one small act of kindness saved a man nearly destroyed by lies. Because someone listened, believed, and refused to give up. That someone is Mia." Mia's voice trembled as she spoke. "We all have scars, secrets, mistakes. But we also have the power to reach beyond them, to show kindness, to stand by others even when it's hard. This center is for everyone who thinks they are broken beyond help." You are not alone. Tears shimmered in many eyes. People who had lost homes, families, faith, felt a new hope stirring. A line formed afterward. People thanked Mia, thanked Yuji, many telling their stories and hoping for healing. The city news covered the event. The story spread. In that moment, thousands realized that compassion wasn't just a feeling. It was action. That courage wasn't only for the powerful. It could come from the humblest heart. A final turn and hope. Restored weeks later, Mia sat in the cafe again. It had reopened. She puttered with mugs, greeted customers, smiled as usual.